This is part 2 of this topic, sex advice from an older man. Trust me, I am absolutely not claiming to be an expert on this topic, but hundreds of millions of men my age have experienced that younger men simply don't. Let me very briefly recap what I said in part 1. Based on feedback I've heard from a lot of older women about their sexual experiences with men of all ages, a high proportion of men don't know very much at all about women's sexuality. Because of this, if you make a point of learning more about it, you can become far more sexually appealing. At the end of this video, I'll include one little known ancient Taoist sexual technique that could drive her crazy in a very nice way for her. But first, here's the important thing you really must understand. So often sex is a much bigger deal to a woman. How she feels about herself having sex is massively important. How she feels about what she did the next day is also a very big deal. In fact, there have been cases where a woman who consented to sex at the time felt so bad about what she'd done the next day, she's called the police and accused the guy of raping her. Even if your encounter was totally consensual and it's a genuine false allegation, if you're forced to go to court and you are convicted, it could destroy your future life. In the same way that not all men are honest, some women are potentially dangerous when it comes to the aftermath of a casual hookup. Consent will be the subject of another video, but always remember this. No means no whenever it is spoken. If she says no, she means it, and don't ever risk getting this wrong. And don't ever take advantage of a woman under the influence of drink or drugs or get so carried away in the moment that you ever ignore her wishes. If she says stop, stop whatever you are doing immediately. This is just one of the many reasons you need to make sure a woman feels good about herself being with you. Some young women don't care about their body count or the number of people that they've had sex with. Some even want to tell the world that they're so independent they can sleep with as many guys or women as they want. I once met a woman socially who actually introduced herself as Blowjob Bianca. She had a large number of male friends who knew from personal experience why she was called that. And for the record, I don't have that personal experience with her. She really didn't care about that reputation. In fact, she was quite proud. Maybe she still feels that way, I really don't know. A number of female friends read these scripts before today. And a female doctor friend of mine read this script and made a few improvements, thank you. But she also made a very interesting comment about Bianca, who she doesn't know either. She said, "This demonstrates hypersexualized behavior. The commonest cause of this could be sexual abuse during her childhood. So be aware that women who exhibit very sexual behaviors may at first glance be the answer to a prayer for every horny man. But it could be an indication that she's a victim of past sexual abuse. She might not be, but don't ever take advantage of vulnerable women." As I've said, for a lot of girls and young women, sex is hugely important, and she worries about what other people will think about her if she gives out too easily. Her reputation is important. While on the other hand, she's probably just as curious and as keen to play as most guys. It's very common, even for a very attractive woman, to feel deeply self-conscious, awkward, even embarrassed about her body. The idea of being naked with someone is potentially very stressful for her. What if she isn't good at sex? How will she react to seeing her first erect, Now, I have to call it something else, or it could get flagged by YouTube as inappropriate content. So I'm going to call it your man banana. What does she do with it? What if she gets it wrong? What if intercourse hurts? What if she doesn't even like it? What will he think of me? What are your own what ifs too? How hard do you touch her? Where? When do you go there? You know what I mean? What if you don't get hard or stay hard? It's quite normal to feel uncertain in these and many other ways, and that brings me back to porn. Porn only focuses on one aspect of what turns on a guy. It's all about self-gratification. It completely ignores the female perspective. The best preparation you can have for real sexual experiences is to gain a better understanding of a woman's sexuality. And if you just thought, I don't really care about that, you will never be a good lover. It's really as simple as that. To be good at sex absolutely requires you to know how a woman thinks. Of course, you'll never know what she thinks. And what pleases a woman sexually. That includes physical as well as emotional pleasure. And then being motivated to give her that pleasure on her terms. Guessing doesn't count either. You can't ever learn any of that from watching porn. Let me repeat. To be a good future lover, it's about how good you make her feel about herself, not how she makes you feel. That means there are things you need to learn and skills you need to develop that are more important to her than they might be to you at the moment. In simple terms, it's probably good advice for me to say, where you want to touch her is not always where she enjoys being touched the most. Touch her only with her permission and far more softly than you may want to. And do everything far more slowly than you want to. At least half the speed. One more thing about touching. Be ultra patient. The slower you are, the more relaxed she'll probably become. Be gentle. But not so gentle she thinks that you're being afraid of her or too apologetic about it. My female doctor friend, who I mentioned earlier, also added, touching a woman needn't be confined to your hands either. In her view, as a woman, the tongue is the best and most important sexual organ. Using your tongue instead of your fingers can be immensely more sensuous for her. Words can also be a massive turn on for her. What is said and how it's said goes a long way towards creating a safe and sexy environment. Words really can be the best floor play. Talking dirty might be a turn on for you, but not always for a woman. Teasing language, not dirty talk, is often far more of a turn on for a woman. It's possible that your partner has more experience than you. I mean, she probably won't want to volunteer that information in case you think, badly about her. But less experienced women will probably have a degree of uncertainty around what you will think about her. Will she be any good? How much you like her? Will you respect her? Or are you just using her? It's a potential minefield. So, how important or unimportant you think her feelings are will have a profound impact on whether you ever have any successful intimate relationships with women. If women don't respond well to you, it could be that they've picked up on your lack of interest in them. Don't blame women for your poor attitude. Before we further explore sex with a partner, for most teenage boys and young men, masturbation or jerking off, tossing off or wanking as it's also known plays a central role in their lives. And as men get older, it still plays a role, but in most cases it's less so. And as the joke goes, 97% of all men masturbate while the remaining 3% lie about it. Masturbation is perfectly natural, and contrary to the old wives' tale, it doesn't make you go blind. There is nothing to be ashamed of or to feel guilty about. And apparently, women masturbate more than men. It can help you relax, it can be comforting, can help you to get to sleep, and help you to let off some of the steam associated with normal sexual frustration. You can do it solely for your own personal pleasure without taking into consideration the needs or desires of a partner. Premature ejaculation can be a problem for some men, and masturbation is an effective treatment for that. Masturbation is also safe because you don't usually catch STDs from yourself, but it is actually possible. Discovering how to give yourself sexual pleasure is part of growing up, so don't worry about doing it, but it's best to lock the door first so you aren't disturbed or interrupted. However, it's worth being aware of the following. If you're single and not in a sexual relationship, no problem. If you are in a relationship, your partner might feel aggrieved that you feel the need or desire to continue with that. Can you masturbate too much? Absolutely yes, and this is worth pointing out. If you end up preferring to masturbate than having partner sex, this can create deep-rooted sexual problems for you and a partner. It's also possible to link sexual stimulation with particular types of hardcore violent porn. People addicted to this type of masturbation sometimes condition themselves to only get turned on in these ways, and this can lead to all sorts of psychological problems. It's becoming a growing problem among men of all ages who watch a lot of online porn. Never blame women for not turning you on if you're a porn watcher. It's not them causing the problem, it's the porn. Single women friends have told me it has become quite common for the men that they've been with to suffer from erectile dysfunction, and even young guys are resorting to pharmaceuticals to enhance their performance. And women don't really like it because it makes them feel that they're unattractive and incapable of turning on a guy. Men watching porn is contributing to this. Let me talk now about what women want sexually. Female sexuality is far more complex than it is for guys. The American comedian Billy Crystal nailed it when he said, "Women need reasons to have sex, while men just need a place." Male or female, our first experiences of sex, and sexual intercourse in particular, can have a deep and very long-lasting effect on our approach to future sexual encounters and relationships. You have a responsibility to yourself and to your partner to make their early experiences positive ones. A man's sexual gratification generally centres around his genitals. It's understandable, therefore, that an inexperienced man wrongly assumes that a woman's experience is the same. It's not. Her sexual pleasure does not centre around her vagina, clitoris and nipples. A woman's sexuality is inside her head. That's where it all starts for a woman. It's all about her imagination and emotions. It's absolutely not only about the areas of her body you are probably most interested in. A woman's whole body can be her sexual playground, and exploring all of it sensuously can be an amazing experience for her as well as for you, if you have the sense to learn how to enjoy her enjoyment. Women have been blessed with a multitude of erogenous zones, which perhaps seems a bit unfair to us men, but we have them too, and it's okay to encourage your partner to find them as well. So I repeat, learn to enjoy a woman's enjoyment. Giving sexual pleasure to a woman is at the core of being a great lover. In an ideal world, when it comes to sex, almost every woman with or without sexual experience would really appreciate any man who knows the following. As I already said, she wants to feel good about herself and reassured in a sincere, genuine way. She wants to feel safe and be safe. She wants to feel that you care about her and how she feels. She absolutely does not want to feel under any pressure to do what you want her to do or allow you to do to her. She wants to feel appreciated and respected. She doesn't want it to hurt. She doesn't want to feel used in any way or feel dirty for having done something she later regrets. She doesn't want to feel disappointed. Above all, she wants it to be a positive experience. This is how you make your early experiences more successful and enjoyable for her and for you. It's better to stay sober too. Some booze can relax, but even slightly too much will detract from the experience. I said this earlier. Slow down. Don't be in a rush to get to the main event. It's very unlikely indeed that you'll ever meet a woman who doesn't appreciate having her neck, her back, her hair, her shoulders, her stomach being stroked and touched in non-sexual ways. This type of touching can be incredibly relaxing for a woman. If your partner is someone you know well, which is always the preferred option in the early days of sexual activity because you can both learn together, tell her that you don't want to put her under any pressure, and then invite her to let you know when she wants you to do more. You can even gently ask her to take your hand and place it where she'd like you to touch when she's ready. This gives her control over the situation. By focusing your attention on giving sensuous rather than sexual pleasure to your partner, you dramatically reduce the potential for your own embarrassing premature ejaculation. That's climaxing too soon, which is a common and very real possibility for any young man who's sexually inexperienced or overexcited. Slow and gentle is far better than passionate. If you misjudge passion, it can be perceived as aggression or even violence. You must never do that. Being overly energetic can be physically very painful for her, so slow down. Slow is almost always more pleasurable for her. Do that and you will be a true master of the universe in her eyes. And don't be surprised if she's also keen to practice with you a lot more often. And when that happens, you might like to try the following technique. It's not a widely known technique, but it will give her a lot of additional pleasure. It's called the set of nines. It's very simple. When you're having sex at any time, but especially near the beginning, just insert the tip of your man banana inside her and give 8 very shallow thrusts, followed by 1 full length deep one. Not too energetically, do it gently. Then following that 1 deep thrust, do 7 shallow thrusts and 2 deeper thrusts. Then 6 shallow, followed by 3 deeper ones. Then 5 shallow, followed by 4 deeper. Count down by doing this until you reach 1 shallow, followed by 8 deeper thrusts. It is highly likely she will enjoy it massively. If you're capable, even repeat the whole sequence, but be aware she might find it too intense in a good way and ask you to stop, at least for a while. One more thing, and this is very important, something you must never do if you're using this technique. Don't count out loud, it will ruin the effect. And before I finish this video, let me say something about when you think you've finished. You haven't. This is a pivotal moment for most women. Yes, there are women who treat sex purely as a form of exercise, a bit like you'd go jogging, but most women enjoy the sensuousness of sex. And I know I've mentioned this a few times before. It's about how it makes her feel afterwards. Under no circumstances should you grunt, turn your back on her and go to sleep. She may feel highly isolated and even abandoned if you do that. So hold her in your arms, be gentle. If possible, let her fall asleep first, feeling safe in your arms. This is far more important than most inexperienced men believe. I really hope this video has given you new insights into your future sexual journey. Please like this video on YouTube, subscribe to my channel to help you become a high quality young man in all areas of your life, not just this topic, and share it with other young guys you think might find this video and this channel helpful. If you've got any questions or comments or suggestions for future videos, please use the comment section below. I'm the author of this personal development ebook and audiobook for single men and women who'd rather not be single, and there's a link for them in the description below. You might want to check that out. There is also a free relationship self-assessment PDF download. Click the link and it opens the PDF without having to sign up for anything. It will give you a lot of insight into your values, what you look for in a partner, and what you have to offer them. Thanks very much indeed for watching. See you the next time.